And welcome back to another episode of Craig Plays Game here at YouTube. I'm your host, Craig. We are continuing our journey into the Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trilogy. This is our 19th video in this series, and we are on episode 5 of the first game. Before we dive on into the game itself, let's get our plugs out of the way. You're checking us out here on YouTube at Craig Plays Games. Feel free to hit that like button if you're enjoying the videos that we're doing. Hit the subscribe button to become part of the family. And then hit that notify bell so you're made aware of when we post new videos. On average, we upload a new video once a day between our exclusive YouTube playthrough series as well as our live Twitch streams. You can find us over on Twitch at Craig Plays Games. We normally stream over there about 4 days out of the week, playing a variety of games such as Apex Legends, NBA 2K19, Super Smash Brothers, etc. Our Twitch stream is really geared more to the multiplayer open world games, whereas our YouTube channel is more focused on our single player story type games. So hit the follow button over there and then come hang out with us in the chat. If you hit that follow button, you'll get notified when we go live, and it's designed to be an interactive experience for you guys. And then we're also over on Twitter at Craig Plays Games. We post updates to our schedule as well as general commentary. And then we are also interactive over there as well. So follow us over there, tweet at us, and we will respond to you. So last time here on the Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trilogy playthrough video, we started episode number 5, which saw a murder of a detective by the Chief Prosecutor. So we are going head-to-head once again with Edgeworth, who is the prosecutor in this case, while we are defending the Chief Prosecutor. And definitely some interesting twists so far. Let's go ahead and dive right back on in and have some fun with this. We're in episode 5, Rise from the Ashes. I always want to save as we go into Trial Former. That's the first time I've seen that. Let's find out what's going on. In the lobby. Alright, there's Lana, the Chief Prosecutor. Still a lot of gray areas indeed. Or rather, the whole thing is one big gray area, Emma. Yeah, definitely. Don't worry about me, no matter what the outcome. I'm ready to accept my fate. That's so odd. And what's up with that jacket? That's right, let me offer you a word of advice. A defense attorney should never believe their client. Wow. The defendant is called to trial because they are suspected of wrongdoing. Never forget that. This guy, you remind me a lot of Mia, but there is one decisive difference between you and her. That is, you're not a defense attorney. Wow. I believe it's almost time for the trial. Good luck. Yeah, I mean, I'm not quite sure what you're up to over there. My first trial without a Fae helping me. No one's gonna bail me out this time. I'll be alone in there, so I have to discover the truth all by myself. Alright. Hopefully she's not jumping in. Alright, back in the courtroom. This judge who somehow still has a court, I'm not sure how. Defense is ready. Prosecution has been ready for a while. It's been 2 months, but I haven't been in a courtroom since his trial. Interesting. Hope that personal feelings will not be a part of the proceedings today, Mr. Wright. Interesting. I will choose the path I think is right, regardless of what those around me might say. The judgment to be made here is in our hands, not those of anyone else. Chief Prosecutor Lana Skye has committed an unpardonable crime. Not only this, but she was rash enough to commit it in the prosecutor's office lot. Yeah, he's definitely a forceful personality. I still don't feel like confessing to everything. What are you confessing to? However, she will now pay for her rashness with her life. There was a witness to her crime. A professional witness. Why is the word professional in quotation marks? Oh, then call your first witness. The prosecutor calls his first witness, Miss Angel Starr, to the stand. The cough up queen. Haven't I seen you somewhere? You ordered the caviar lunch, right? I've never eaten caviar before. Judge is really wolfing it down. And for you, I have a Fiesta bowl. So, did you order the fingerprint lunchbox? It is too early for lunch. Edgeworth is like, no games here. Let's get it on. How did it? So tasty it hurts. Oh, what the heck is pickle tapioca? Yeah, Edgeworth is like, come on. The name is Angel Star, don't go forgetting it. I find myself running Lunchland these days. Is that what you wanted me to say? Wow, interesting. The prosecution will wait, I'm not finished eating. Are you serious? As you know, we usually call on the police to provide a description of the crime. Your Honor, as Mr. Edgeworth has said to the court, I am a professional. What exactly does that mean? Until 2 years ago, Ms. Angel Starr was a special investigator with the police. She was a first-rate homicide detective. That's odd. Cough up. Cough up queen. Oh, she can get people to cough up a confession. I might have the court's attention over here. The parking lot at the prosecutor's office is divided into 2 blocks. A block is for the prosecutor's office personnel. B block is for visitors and clients. The chain divider separates the 2 blocks, I suppose that's to keep visitors from taking up prosecutor spaces. The crime took place by a car in the back of A block, and the car's trunk. The killer stabbed the victim with this knife and went to drive the body out. Unfortunately for her, there was a witness, and an arrest was made on the spot. And who was this valiant witness? Why, it was me. So, okay. Witness, did you see the very moment of the crime? Of course. Immediately after that, I apprehended the Chief Prosecutor. Seems rather cut and dry. I can't agree on principle. It seems that some poor losers are unwilling to accept the truth, Your Honor. Shall I proceed to crush what little hope they have remaining? If you can, then give them your words, Mrs. Starr. What kind of judge is this? Golly. Witness testimony. Alright. Somehow I always knew a day like this would come. I was on my way to deliver a lunchbox to my boyfriend when I sensed something. Perhaps it was my finely honed detective's intuition at work. Through the wire fence, I saw the Chief Prosecutor standing next to a garish car. The Chief Prosecutor was holding a knife in her right hand. Then, she thrust the pointy tip of the knife into his chest. Bringing a lunchbox to your boyfriend? How touching. As you can see, there is no room for doubt. The key point of your testimony seems to be nothing other than the point of the knife which you saw being stabbed into Detective Goodman. So, how does it feel to be so utterly crushed? Can we stop with that stupid face? Alright, so let's just take a look what evidence we have. Murder weapon, traces of victim's blood, no prints. Death due to loss of blood, 1 knife wound, died within an hour and a half. It doesn't say he was stabbed in the chest though. Okay. Let's push there. He's the detective, not that boyfriend, the security guard. And the other boyfriend, interesting. Care to join? The yet another boyfriend position is still open. Oh my goodness. The judge had to think before replying. The security guard room is in the lot in A block. It's up on the 2nd level so you can see everything from there. That would be the room with the security sign. Incidentally, did you bring your lunchboxes by car? Since I'm a visitor now, I parked in B block. So she was in B block when she witnessed the crime. I thought it was a divider. When I sensed something, perhaps it was my finely honed to whatever. Is that a wire fence? Yes. Incidentally, the knife with which the victim was stabbed was also Edgeworth's. The person you saw, are you sure that it was the defendant? I saw her from no further than 30 feet away. I'm certain it was her. Can you tell us what the suspect was doing when you saw her? The Chief Prosecutor was holding a knife in her right hand. Then she thrust the pointy tip of the knife into Detective Goodman's chest. Alright, yeah, everybody calm down. Alright, so... Tell me more about this knife. Oh, I'd say the blade was about 4 inches long. Prosecutors are by nature well versed in the location of a man's vital organs. I'm sure it was easier than boiling an egg for my egg salad surprise set. Alright, skipping through all this again. Let's see. Something. Maybe you sense something. It was like the feeling you get when you view a pumpkin chock full of seeds. What is that even? What? A young cheese. A pale white cheese. Not yet tangy. I can talk this morning. With experience on the streets. A greenhorn. Now it must be hard, yellowed, and sharp as attack. The odor of an old cheese to match. Through the wire fence, okay. Present that knife. Okay. Then she throws the pointy tip of the knife into. Can I just show evidence? It's frustrating now. Alright. Okay. Don't need to go for all that. Record of parking in the prosecutor's office lot. Let's see. Somehow I always knew a day like this would come. I was on my way to deliver lunchbox to my boyfriend when I sent something. If I hadn't been laid out by those prosecutors over there, I'd still be one. To me, prosecutors are nothing more than worms. I said I am a pro, as you know. My testimony is unbiased and flawless. So we need to present something here. Just not sure what. Let's see. Oh, I mean, there's things I want to bring up. I just don't know how to bring them up yet. Okay. Unless you're willing to risk the consequences of doubting me. I'll fry you like a fritter, crispy on the outside, chewy on the inside. I believe I've heard that tagline elsewhere. You could cry plagiarism. I may be relegated to the lowly post of lunch lady, but my instincts are honed. A photograph. You took this. The moment I witnessed the crime, my reflexes took over and snap, I took a picture. In fact, one of my lunchboxes is rigged with a camera. So, you think I'd show it to you, a prosecutor? Think again. Wow. My boyfriend works in the photography division of criminal affairs. It's definitely the defendant. Let's see. Chief Prosecutor was holding a knife in her right hand, then she thrust the pointy end of the knife into Detective Goodman's chest. This photograph. This is the photograph you took at the very moment of the crime, is it not? And why is she not holding the knife? Objection. Yeah, very weak objection. This photograph was not taken the moment before the stabbing. This was taken the moment after the stabbing. And how can you tell that? See the dark crimson stains on the Chief Prosecutor's coat? She took the picture the moment she witnessed the crime. We're gonna have a silence war. If you run out of lunch, you order seconds. Problem solved. If you don't like it, try ordering the jumbo-sized lunch from the get-go. I don't have time to stop her. Prosecutor Sky was cold, calculating like a robot. She killed without pain or remorse. It was a premeditated murder. Premeditated? How do you know? Look at the Chief Prosecutor's hands in that photograph. Are those gloves? Surgical gloves made of thin rubber, most likely. Why would she have those on? If it was not premeditated, she would not be wearing those gloves. The murder was planned. The rubber gloves prove it. Man. Okay. How did the trunk get open to get the murder weapon? by it. Alright, go through it again. It's the knife. The knife. The knife that was in Edward's trunk. Yeah. The defense has a request. We ask that the witness provide an accurate testimony. In your testimony, you stated that Lana's guy planned the murder, and that's why she was wearing those special gloves. However, why would she not also prepare the most important thing, the murder weapon? This knife just happened to be in the trunk of that car. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're going to plan a murder, you don't forget the weapon. Oh, what was that? Now the tide is turning in our favor. My sister's as good as free. I mean, I wouldn't go that far. I believe the next lunch you'll be eating is humble pie. I hope you weren't deluding yourself into thinking that the tide has turned, not over such a trifling detail. This shoots a hole in the whole premeditated theory. The prosecution could care less if it was premeditated or not. The only one who seems to care is that lunch lady over there. The defendant, Lana, murdered a detective with a knife. That is the only thing the prosecution need prove, nothing else. Suppose you think you're clever now, but you know as well as I do that she planned on killing him. It was planned. I've had powers of deduction not to be underestimated. Alright, Angel's deduction. Honest guy intended to murder Detective Goodman. That's why she called the victim all the way to the prosecutor's office. I'm sure the Chief Prosecutor had a grudge against the victim. Nothing else could drive that human machine to plunge the knife in again and again. Alright, well, I already saw a contradiction. What? Mr. Edgeworth's sighs smell like citrus fruit. Yeah. It sounds to be as short-tempered as she looked when we met her. Okay, I don't know what you're talking about. I do know this knife. Oh, no, not that. This only showed one knife wound. You say she stabbed him again and again, but you couldn't have witnessed that. The autopsy report states that the death was due to a loss of blood from one stab wound. Wait. Yeah, what? You got the crime scene set, right? I always believed that no one could ever mistake ketchup for blood, but now I realize that such mistakes are possible. So you're saying you mistook something for blood? When she lifted her knife, I thought I saw blood at her breast. Splattered blood from her victim. That's why I thought she must have stabbed him at least twice. Then tell us what you saw that you thought was blood. Testify. Her red muffler looked like blood to me. That's how ghastly the whole scene was. Alright. Yeah. It's like pulling a bun out of the oven half-baked. You know, you talk about how I'm not that quick, but I got you off of murder. That's why she got... What was this grudge? What? The suspect had a grudge against Detective Goodman. Will you tell us your basis for thinking this? It's simple. Her red muffler looked like a scarf. She always wears one around her neck, so she can be easily hanged at a moment's notice, I suppose. People mistake your beard for a bib? Yeah, definitely for the kindergarten. Actually, I do think I saw some traces of blood on her chest. However, the autopsy report is clear on this matter. There was only one knife wound. Okay. Press on that, I guess. There's no record of a call made on the defendant's phone. She might have written him a letter. In any case, the victim came to the prosecutor's office where he was murdered. I'm sure he had a reason to be there. We have no proof. Like, what? Why do you think it was a suspect? But she's not pressing. She's not answering any questions. Oh my goodness. Where were you? Let's see. She wasn't wearing a scarf. The witness is clearly not suited for detective work. Whoa. The suspect was not wearing a scarf or muffler of any kind when she stabbed the victim. What is Edward doing? Only a professional lunch lady could be so utterly clueless. Congratulations, but perhaps you finally found your true calling in life. What? Why am I getting objected as I object? This is crazy. Witness has given us an entertaining interlude, but back to business. You saw the crime and apprehended the suspect. Tell us about that. Very well. I do remember some things accurately, at least. This next testimony might just be the moment of truth. Witness testimony. The murder, the suspect attempted to run behind a partition off to her side. I quickly caught her, explained her rights to her, and arrested her on the spot. Ah yes, when I arrested her, she mentioned the muffler. That's what had me confused in my earlier testimony. The Chief Prosecutor made to escape, but against Angel Star, resistance is futile. Okay. Note to self, Mr. Wright is weak against poisonous snake bites. I mean, isn't anybody? An oil drum. Alright. For the murder, the suspect attempted to run behind a partition off to her side. I quickly caught her, explained her rights. I was only 30 feet away from her the whole time. Press her. I like to see this in the floor plans just to be safe. The lunch lady and car was... She was a visitor, thus she was parked in B block. So you witnessed the murder from here? That would make it about 30 feet from the car, yes. Is that correct? But there was a chain link fence in front of you. I went over it. The cough-up queen, lunch lady athlete indeed. It would have taken her a little time to climb over the fence, so she couldn't have gotten to my sister that fast. Yeah, that fence was about 9 feet high, too. So how did Miss Scott not get away? When I arrested her... She wanted to escape, why didn't she run the other way? Parking lot entrance. So where is this partition on the floor plans? I'm sure she means this wall next to the car. We caught her, explained her. Alright, Sarah. The Chief Prosecutor was talking on her phone. Hungry, it's like a salmon. Heading upstream, you see. The Chief Prosecutor first attempted to use the phone hanging on the wall. Apparently it was out of order. The emergency phone was out of order that day. You should of course add this to your testimony. Saw it all, how she tried the phone on the wall but had to use her cell instead. How could you see all that if you're all the way over there? Alright. So based off the plans that we have right now, what? Okay. It's getting ridiculous. Alright, the plans that you showed make that impossible. Let's include that you have a personal grudge against Lana Sky. You, who together with the Chief Prosecutor kicked me out 2 years ago. Let's look at the floor plans. You said you witnessed the crime from this point. However, if that's true, you couldn't possibly have seen her making that phone call. I believe you see what I'm getting at. The emergency phone was on the back side of this partition. If indeed you were in B block, you couldn't have seen it. It's simple, Your Honor. She's not coughing up lunch. She's coughing up lies. That's quite a claim. Perhaps you allow me a question? Tell us exactly what lie this witness has told the court. A witness about where she saw it. Therefore, it would be pointless for Miss Starr to lie about it. Pointless to lie to you, but say the witness did actually see Miss Sky using the emergency phone. It would mean she witnessed the crime from a different location. Before you call my lie pointless, at least let me tell it. Let me ask a question to our clever wordsmith, Mr. Wright. Just where was the witness when she saw the crime? I mean, she had to be at the security room. Security room in the underground parking lot is well positioned. It's built on the second floor so you can see the entire lot. She would have been able to see the emergency phone from there. But why there? There are many other places where she could have seen the phone. The witness, not being part of the prosecutor's office, couldn't park in the A block. The only place where she could have seen the crime and the back of the partition is here. You brought a lunch to your boyfriend in the security guard room. Today, a man has got the better of Angel Star. Bum bum bum. You used to be a detective. You should know better. I'm not turning back. The guilty will be punished, and I'll do what I must to make sure justice prevails. She could have just said she saw the crime from the security guard station. It wouldn't change anything. This photograph tells all. It was the defendant who stabbed the victim. How did she take that picture, though? The witness is found to be lying. They're guilty of perjury. She knows this. She wouldn't risk that without a good reason. Miss Starr witnessed the crime from the security guard station. But she lied and said she saw it from Block B. It must make a vital difference, but what? What would change? Angle of view to the crime. I mean, it definitely changes that. The distance to the crime. Or the difference in lighting. Changes the distance between her and the scene of crime. The distance between the scene of the crime and the guard station is 30 feet. I don't see how that would change. There's a big giant wall in the middle. Miss Starr, you witnessed the crime from the security guard station. Now, how long did it take you to go from there to the scene of the crime where you arrested her? You ordered the squid wheels, right? No. From Load and Edible. I was bringing a PB&J lunch with fresh boysenberry jam to my boyfriend. He wasn't in the station, so I waited. I witnessed the crime from the glass-walled station. Before I knew what I was doing, I found myself running towards the scene, but the door was locked. I couldn't open it. What? There is no way she ran all that way and then climbed a fence. That's why they go through the visitors parking in Block B. Probably took me at least 5 minutes to get to the scene of the crime. But it was that woman over there in the defendant's chair who stabbed him. I know it. I have photographic evidence. I swear it. I saw it on my finest plastic spork. Oh my goodness. These lunches. "5 minutes between the witnessing of the murder and the arrest. Think about it. You can make pasta in that amount of time if you like it al dente." "If you were a criminal, what would you do with 5 minutes, Your Honor?" "I guess I'd flee the scene." "Okay, nobody thinks you killed anybody, Judge. Definitely don't think you're smart." This time was different. Miss Guy dawdled at the scene of the crime. She even had her picture taken. No true criminal would act this way. It's inconceivable. Oh my goodness. Well then, it seems we've come to the end of this testimony. The witness has a grudge against the defendant and a blank in her testimony. Is the next witness ready to go? Unfortunately, I appear to have overestimated this witness on account of her professional history. I'm afraid that the cough-up queen has been dethroned, and with that, court is adjourned. Hold it, what? No. I prefer not to take the defense team's leftovers. Okay, then. I might be able to save you. I have decisive evidence. Is this your jumbo lunchbox? Triple decker. Alright, Judge. You're a freak. Out of deference to the witness's determination, I'll allow one more testimony. Let's hear about this decisive evidence. Alright, now what? I should have mentioned those 5 minutes when I wasn't looking at the crime scene. And now, to the matter of the victim's shoe. Did I not bring this up? 2 types of blood were found on the shoe. One was, of course, the victim's, and the other blood type matched that of the defendant. This shoe proves it as flawless, decisive evidence. Why is this the first time I've heard of this evidence? Simple. As I've already said, I don't trust you with evidence. That's why I took the liberty of investigating this myself. I have 3 boyfriends in forensics. Oh my goodness. You must know the 2 rules of evidence law. Rule 1, no evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. In other words, this shoe is illegal evidence, at least for the time being. Don't forget, I used to be a detective. As I mentioned previously, this shoe has already been tested by a member of the forensics department. As you can see, it was approved by the police department as of today. Even the general public can produce official evidence, Mr. Edgeworth. Good job, Veggie. Appears that this evidence satisfies the first rule of evidence law. However, it seems you have yet another count against you, witness. Very well. May cross-examine the witness. All right. Now, to the matter. Found this shit at the scene of crime. I want to make myself useful while I was waiting for the police to arrive. It's like an ill-trained pooch. Wow, edgy. This shoe is my secret weapon if that should happen. See this fashionable basket I have here? It carries more than lunchboxes, gentlemen. Blood comes in 4 types. However, you can't tell from a blood test whether a murder was committed in cold blood. What? If I had a little more time, I would have gotten DNA test results, but they said there's very little doubt it could be anyone but some honest guys. So the suspect's blood was found on the victim's shoe. The peppered fish guts. What is contradictory? Show us the problem with the evidence. There's blood on the bottom of this shoe. Problem is, she's not wearing white shoes in that photo. Note that the bottom of the victim's shoe is covered in blood. Then, isn't it strange? Why weren't any bloody footprints found by the scene of the crime? I guess that too. I mean, but those are the shoes don't match. And where are they? Because we checked the scene and found nothing of the sort. There has to be a reason why there wasn't a footprint, I think. Let's see. Now I get it. Our witness is more devious than I gave her credit for. We were hoodwinked to the very end. But she slipped. There is one vital hint to the truth in her testimony. Think back to when she told us about apprehending the suspect. The Chief Prosecutor tried to resist, but her efforts were in vain. She knocked my hands aside, kicked over an oil drum. Oh, she's beautiful but deadly. I thought that was a strange thing for the normally cool-headed chief to do. Now, witness, allow me to ask a very simple question. This oil drum, was it empty? Apparently, you're not the slowest conveyor belt in the lunchbox factory. The oil drum was brimming with water. The suspect knocked over that oil drum for one reason and one reason alone: to erase the bloodstains that would become evidence against her. Bloodstains left on the victim's shoes tie her quite clear to this murder. Then after the deed was done, she knocked over the oil drum to erase the telltale signs. That reminds me, Miss Guy's right hand was hurt. It was. Didn't she say she cut herself and she stabbed him? That's when my sister's blood got on the shoe. Hold it. What? Did you say that I, Angel Star, was on the prosecution side? I thought you'd had your fill, but here you are demanding a second helping. Lunchbox called evidence. Time for deliberations is past. Any further comments and you'll be held in contempt of court. Your threats don't scare the cough-up queen. Well then, look at this. Oh. Okay. So it was the victim's shoe. I thought it was a suspect's shoe. A photograph. I had it just in case anyone had the gall to suggest that the white shoe didn't belong to the victim. Look at the asphalt in this photo. It's clearly wet. raising the last trace of doubt from the court's mind. Immediately after the murder, the crime scene was washed with water. Right. Wet or not, don't be so quick to throw in the towel. Get yourself up off the asphalt. Take another good look. Don't give up. Not until the bitter end. This time I'd like to declare a verdict for good. Objection indeed. Your Honor, wait. What is it with you people? Can't I hand down my verdicts in peace anymore? No, it can't wait. This trial isn't over until we give each piece of evidence proper consideration. I suppose since we've come this far, we should give every claim a fair shake. Very well. What's this in the tailpipe? The problem in this photograph is here. There's something poking out of the car's muffler. However, I see no trace of a muffler or scarf of any kind in this photograph. Muffler is also part of a car or motorcycle. Just think of it as part of the exhaust system, a pipe. What's that suspicious looking claw sticking out of the car's muffler? So what if there's something sticking out of the muffler? What does that have to do with this case? Tell us why you think this piece of cloth in the muffler is important. That's a great question. Because she mentioned the word, right? I'm confused. Could it be that the muffler you heard mentioned was actually this exhaust pipe? So that means this piece of evidence is vital. Alright, so to suspend the proceedings. Leave any question unanswered here, we do a disservice to the law. Have the car at the crime scene inspected at once and bring me that cloth. The verdict will wait until after we've seen all the evidence. This court will adjourn for a 30-minute recess. It's lunchtime after all. How are you still hungry, Judge? To be continued. Well, that wraps up another video in our Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney trilogy. Next time we'll obviously either pick back up in the trial or possibly into an investigation of some sorts. With that being said, thank you guys for joining us. Thanks for hanging out with us as we continue our playthrough and as we continue our march through episode 5. You're checking us out here on YouTube at Craig Plays Games. Hit that like button if you enjoyed our video. Hit the subscribe button if you want to join the family. And hit that notify bell to be informed when we have a new video uploaded. Like I said before, we have usually on average 1 new video a day. You can also find us on Twitch at Craig Plays Games, where we do about 4 live streams a week. You can also find us over on Twitter at Craig Plays Games, where I do updates to our schedule, general commentary, and also we interact with you guys. That being said, thank you so much. You guys make all this possible. Feel free to tell your friends about us, tell your family about us, and come hang out with us next time here at Craig Plays Games.